Hi guys, it's Jamila here from Slap. Today I'm going to be doing a video on the brand new Cle de Peau Concealer. It is not brand new, but it is in a new shade, so I'm going to be testing it out for you guys today. This has gone viral on TikTok. It has been a makeup artist and beauty journalist fave for decades, so hopefully it is as good as everyone says it is. I'm finally getting a chance to try it. I do feel like I might have got the wrong shade, but I'm going to be testing it out anyway. But if you haven't subscribed already, guys, please subscribe. We'd love to have you in the Slap family. And without further adu, guys, here is the video. When I saw that they were extending their shade range, I wanted to get one. The only problem was that they are, I think, £54 and $75 US, so you've got to get your shade right. You can't get it wrong because it is a very expensive mistake to make. Unfortunately, it is not available in Harrods on the counter until the end of the month, but I wanted to get this video up, so I decided to get it online at Cult Beauty. But it's very hard to tell what the actual shades are. Even from the swatches, it is quite confusing. The deep skin tone that they swatch on is a very nice, rich skin tone, which seems to match their deepest shade, which is Espresso. So it's quite hard to gauge what the other shades are like. The other deep shades they have introduced are Cocoa, Nutmeg, Hazelnut, Toffee, and Buff. I'm not sure if Buff is new, but Buff looks like it comes after Mocha, which was their deepest shade. I was quite intrigued by Toffee because it looked kind of like a 4N from Dior. And the other shade, Cocoa and Nutmeg, looked quite good, but I couldn't tell if there'd be like skin tone shades on me. And I did want a concealer that was going to be a tiny bit lighter. I don't know, I was really confused. I didn't know how rich to go with this because they've never done deep skin tones before. Luckily, when I was in store, they did have their concealer pen in the shade Deep. And from what I could see on their website, they said that the shade Deep is the same shade as Toffee. So that's kind of why I went for Toffee. It might have been a huge mistake, but that's the shade I went for. Hopefully it wasn't a terrible idea. So I'm just going to get into it. I'm going to read you guys some of the blurb, and then I'm going to show you some swatches, and then I'm going to get into a demo. This now has 12 shades. Before it had 6, so I think they've extended it by 6 shades, which is great. Most of the extension is in the deeper skin tone range. It has an SPF 27 and it is a stick cream concealer. Not a type of concealer I normally have. I don't normally get stick forms, cream sticks. I do have a few cream pots like the NARS and the Glossier and the RMS. And apart from that, I don't think I have any other cream concealer, but I do like a cream concealer. They do look very natural, and I do like them in summer. Conceals and improves with skin first ingredients. It's a Martha Stewart favorite. Skincare hybrid concealer stick. It's for every skin tone, type, and texture. So guys, those are the swatches on. I thought it was a little bit light until I swatched the 4.5N from Dior, which should give me a bit of hope. Even though that one is a little bit light for me, it's not crazy light. Having looked at the other shades I have, the NARS is much more of a skin tone shade and really good for summer when you just want to dab a little bit and have a really natural look. So it's a bit of a shame that I didn't really think that through and go for the deeper shade, which would have been hazelnut. I like the packaging. I think it's very cute. It's nice to have a cream concealer in a stick form and not in a pot form, just because it's easier to use and just kind of swipe on, I think. It's got like a little curved middle, which is quite cute. A Cle de Peau logo on the top. In terms of size, this is 5 grams. The Glossier is 4.8 grams. It's actually bigger than the Glossier. The RMS Uncover Up is 5.67 grams, so a little bit bigger than the Cle de Peau, but not by much. NARS Amande is 6.2 grams, so the biggest of them all. I'm going to try it on one side on its own, and then we'll see how it looks, and maybe I'll try it on top of a tint or a foundation. I think seeing it on my skin, it definitely is too light to wear it on its own, which I kind of knew already. I'll leave this to warm up on my skin for a little bit, then I'll blend it out, and then we can at least see what the texture and the finish is like on my skin, and then I will try and play with it with some bronzer or something like that. So off camera this doesn't actually look as jarring as it does, but on camera it looks really white. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use Pat McGrath MD26 foundation, because it is probably the most golden true skin tone shade. And then I think the kind of whiteness, the beigeness of this concealer won't look too jarring. It's so weird because in the mirror this doesn't look like it's a different skin tone to me. It looks completely normal, but on camera you can see all of the kind of whiteness of it and the fact that it's not the right undertone or shade. It's actually not as easy to use from the stick as it would have been with like a brush or my finger from a pot. So on this side, I'm going to use a flat brush just to see if that makes any difference with precision. Guys, that is the concealer on. I haven't put any powder, bronzer or blusher on yet because I just wanted to show you it creamy and show you what the creams look like. I put a tiny bit of the NARS Light Reflecting Loose Powder under my eyes just to give it a bit of setting because it was starting to crease. But I do like this and I don't like this. It's very confusing. Sometimes when I catch it in the light, it looks slightly patchy, it looks slightly uneven. Sometimes I catch it in the light, it looks totally radiant and smooth and seamless. So it's quite a strange one. It actually looks a lot better than it did when I first applied it, and it does seem to warm into the skin and melt into the skin over time, which I do really like. It does look pretty flawless, even though it wasn't quite the right shade, and I do think I probably would keep this shade. I will go into store in Harrods at the end of the month when it does launch, because I think it is nice. I found it quite tricky to use straight from the bullet because I find the bullet quite big and quite wide and it's quite hard to be precise. I do think I prefer applying it with the brush, but it does look really flawless on this side. But I do feel quite airbrushed. I think for the price it is quite expensive, but looking at myself now, I do feel like it looks very seamless, very blurred, very perfected, and very nice. So there's a lot to like. In terms of the price, it is very expensive, and there are other concealers that are better out there that you don't necessarily need to get this. But in terms of cream formulas that I have, I think this is probably one of the nicer finishes I have, just because it's still quite creamy. I find the NARS Soft Matte quite matte. It's lovely, but it is quite matte. It doesn't look as skin-like and as radiant and airbrushed and smooth as this does. And even though I love the Glossier and the RMS, they're a lot dewier than this is as well. So they give you that really shiny, dewy look. So the time now is 2:51. So guys, it is 2:52. I'm just gonna give you a quick final close up. I'll be back later to show you my final face. So guys, I forgot to do a natural light and the light's about to go. So, can you see me? This is it. I've been wearing it for about, I don't know, 5 hours, 6 hours. My grey patch. Not bad, it's very glowy. It's almost too glowy. So I'll turn a corner and hopefully you'll see it better. No. Okay, slightly better. So guys, I've had this on 5 hours. The light's not great. It's 7 o'clock, so not really daylight, but it's still actually holding up quite well and not looking too bad. It looks very shiny about an hour ago, but not bad. So guys, I am back, looking a bit strangely coloured. In the mirror, this looks fine. On camera, you can see the kind of lightness of it all. So I'm back. I've been wearing this for a while. It is now 11:25. Let's see on here, so you know I'm being honest. So I've had this on since, I think it was 2:50. Let's check. 2:51. So I've been wearing this for 8.5 hours. I feel like this is actually really good. I've blown my nose loads, so there's going to be nothing left here, but I haven't touched the rest of my face. I've done a bit of this because I've been working a bit today, but apart from that, I feel like it's pretty much untouched. There was a point just before I left the house, I think it was about 6 o'clock I left the house, and I suddenly got really shiny here and here, but the rest of my face looked really nice, really natural, really glowy, and it did look really good throughout the day. It did look very nice and natural and radiant, but I don't know if it was airing too close on the side of radiant. It did look good, but I just don't know if it's too glowy. But I am happy with how this is worn for 8.5 hours. I think this is really fantastic. Normally under my eyes, they don't look as concealed still by this point, so I think it looks pretty good. So I'm going to give you guys a quick close up just to see if I'm actually right, and yeah, then that's going to be it. So guys, that is it on. That is the new Cle de Peau Concealer shade in the shade Toffee. Not bad. I definitely do think I could have gone up a shade and gone a bit richer and had this as a kind of everyday shade, especially for summer. This light shade is going to feel even lighter once the sun hits my skin and I start to get a little bit tan. But I do think it's okay. I don't think it's bad. I don't know if it's necessarily worth the money. It does look very good on the skin. It looks natural on, it looks radiant. And I think it's done a good job of keeping my dark circles at bay. I can still see them, but it's done a really good job. In terms of the crease, in terms of creases, I've only got one small crease under each eye, which is also really good when I compare it to something like the Dior Forever Correct Concealer. That is much more creasy than this, and I've put on pretty much the same amount. So I do like the fact that it hasn't really creased. It's felt very natural on. There have been a few moments where it felt a little bit like I had stuff on my face around this section, where it felt like a little like my natural oils were kind of coming through a little bit, and I think it was kind of battling with that. But it does seem to self-regulate, and it has kind of calmed down a lot. Where I was feeling quite shiny before, it's kind of gone, and I haven't touched up, I haven't powdered or anything, so I do think it's good in that respect. It's not a bad concealer at all, and I can see why people like it. It does give you a really nice natural finish and a natural effect, but it is quite pricey, and I do think you can get other good concealers for that money. But for a cream concealer, I do think it's a pretty decent concealer. So I'll keep wearing it. I'm not sure as yet whether it's a favorite of mine. I will keep wearing it, I'll let you know. I think I got the shade a bit wrong, but apart from that, I think it's good. I like the wear of this for a concealer, and for me, this is actually a really decent wear test. So I'm happy about that, and I'm happy with it so far, I think, yeah. So guys, that is it. That's my finished look. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, guys. Will you be buying it? Will you be trying it? Do you have it already? Is it worth the cash? Let me know. Did I get the right shade? Let me know. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you like this video. If you haven't subscribed already, guys, please subscribe. We'd love to have you in the Slap family. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you on the next one.